Everybody, it's Andy Cloudy Mulder, your self-proclaimed metal mogul. Vinyl collection update this time. Just a quick one, 4 pieces. I was very keen to get some metal on vinyl shown. If you saw my last video, the last record that I actually showed was a Liberace picture disc, and I kind of knew that if I died between making that video and putting another one out, that unfortunately may be all I am ever remembered for. So we can't have that. What we can have is some Hellripper. Probably seen this being shown quite a lot so far, and it's because it's absolutely fantastic. Obviously, James McBain of Hellripper, one-man project. He's a true metal mogul, really, rather than the self-proclaimed nonsense that I claim to be. But yeah, I picked it up on cassette and CD as well, for no other reason than I missed out on a cassette release one time with one of the earlier releases, and I kind of regretted it and ended up getting a repress. And then I don't know, Hellripper's one of those bands where I'm getting it on all the formats. I've gone all in and absolutely love it. Hellripper are evolving, changing. I hate to say getting better, because I loved the earlier stuff as well. In fact, I went back and listened to Coagulated Darkness and Black Arts and Alchemy this week. And it was a while since I've listened to those two, and it really surprised me how different this album is, how the style has changed. It's become richer, more complex. The lyrics, everything just seems far more mature than the earlier sort of more in-your-face Motorhead style songs. But this has everything in it at times. So we all know it's kind of like blackened speed thrash metal, but there's even the bagpipes in here, which usually puts me off knowing that there's bagpipes in an album. Sound really good. It's kind of got more of a folky element to it. The lyrics are all sort of Scottish folklore, or mostly Scottish folklore. There's a lot more black metal influences in this, I think. The last track, Mester Stewarworm. I know we all love Hellripper, and we're not allowed to say we don't like something, but I'm not a big fan of that track. But that's the only thing, because it is very, to me, it's very heavily on the black metal side, which black metal fans may turn around and go, no, that's absolute nonsense. But I'm not a black metal fan, and that's just how I feel about it. But the rest of it, oh my god, the Knuckle of E, brilliant. I Deceiver, great song. Warlock's Grim and Withered Hags, the title track, absolutely superb. I do love a bit of Goat Vomit Nightmare, though. That is a proper blackened speed metal party anthem. And if such a thing doesn't exist, well, it does now. Curse Carrying Crown as well, really cool, in your face. Hissing Marshes and Poison Womb. It's unmistakably Hellripper, but it's kind of Hellripper plus. I got the green vinyl variant because I thought it went well with the cover. Yeah, can't speak highly enough of Hellripper, but you guys probably know that already, because I've been talking about the band for quite some time, for quite a few years now. Also newly out in the last couple of weeks is the new Night Demon and Outsider. This is actually still in the shrink, because I just haven't got around to carefully peeling the hype sticker off it. It's the long-anticipated third full-length album from West Coast heavy metal power trio. Again, Night Demon. They've been around for quite some time. This is their third studio album, but their first album came out in 2013, 10 years ago. Now, I've seen a number of people show this album, and they talk about the more mature sound, and I think, well, they have been going for 10 years. You kind of expect things to have moved on in those 10 years. And also, I've heard people sort of saying that they've gone through the songs, they said what they like, and also maybe said that it's not, that there are some songs are up, some songs are down. But what no one seems to be mentioning is that this is actually a concept album. And I think a bloody good concept album as well. In fact, I think this album is fantastic. It's grown on me with every listen. I think, like a lot of concept albums, though, you don't necessarily, if you read through the lyrics, you wouldn't necessarily get the whole story. Now, with a concept album, you're telling a story, so you're not going to have maybe a banger after banger after banger with the songs. You're going to have highs, you're going to have lows, you're going to have songs that inject the emotion of the story and the atmosphere as well. But if you do read the inner sleeve, this is the story. It's about a guy called Johnny who finds himself pretty much in like a parallel universe of his own hometown, and I don't want to spoil the story, but he happens to bump into himself and kill his other self, and then have to try and take his place. I mean, Johnny is the outsider. And it's actually a really good story. And if you read the story, listen to the album, and read the lyrics as you're going through, you kind of get the story a lot more from the music, and you kind of understand why there are slower bits in some of the songs, and why the bits are just like full-on aggression and fast. But individual songs, though, I mean, Outsider is great. Prelude is an instrumental to start with. Obsidian is really good as well. Beyond the Grave is one of those slower ones, all the way up to The Wrath at the end. I think a great way to finish the album. But Always Brave, I think, when a band takes on a concept, it can work, it can't work. I think in this case it does. I've got the just the plain black vinyl edition, but this is really, really good album. I'm really pleased they did something a little bit different. Always love Night Demon. Great to see a new album out from them as well. Third album. Now this is something that you wouldn't normally see on this channel, and it's what I almost didn't buy when I saw the hype sticker. Now let me show you the album first. Oh, those horrible sleeves. So this album, I bought it because, or I got attracted to it because of the cover. That is an awesome cover. So the band is Black Royal, and the album is called Earthbound. But I got sucked in by that cover. I saw the album being advertised in Iron Fist magazine. It wasn't even an article on it. It was just a label, and there were 6 or 7, 8 different album covers on there. But the big old demon bear with a corpse in its mouth, that got me thinking, like, oh, I wonder what band that is. Then I read up about them, and as described on the hype sticker, this is Finland's Black Royal, usher in a new era of death and roll with an infectious combination of Scandinavian death metal and crushing sludge. Now, the death metal part didn't put me off. I don't mind a little bit of death metal. I'm a little bit of a convert, not a big one, but a little bit of one. I do like a bit of sludge, and crushing sludge that intrigued me. But describing it as death and roll, what horrible. I don't know why metalists always have to come up with a new subgenre. Maybe that's not new, but just even saying death and roll just sounds wrong. I've even heard Hellraiser being described as black and roll. Just don't. But anyway, this is a limited edition, 300 copies. It's the vocals are very death metal, but there is a lot more sort of sludgy, doomy elements in here as well. I usually pick out songs. I don't know the songs that well. I have heard this a number of times, and it becomes one of those albums that is when it's on, I find I often drift out of listening to it, but it's on, and it's not it's not that I'm not enjoying it. It's just that it's good background music to some degree. But I've played it quite a lot. I keep coming back to it since. It's on this transparent orange, what do they call it here? They just call Phoenix Ascending Orange colour. Now if you want your bathroom painted in that colour, just ask your local DIY store for Phoenix Ascending Orange, and they will duly oblige. It's a good album. I say I love the sludgy elements to it. I don't mind the death metal vocals so much on it, and it definitely has its highlights. But go check them out and let me know what you think of Black Royale, and see if you think death and roll is a good description. There. The last one on the complete opposite end of the spectrum from most of what I've shown is this Phantom Spell and Immortals Requiem. Now this is actually another, like Hellripper, another one-man project. This time it's Kyle MacNeil from Seven Sisters. He is a big prog rock fan, has a lot of influences. So he's decided to put together this more sort of solo band, and it really sort of it sounds a bit like Seven Sisters. If you do know Seven Sisters, then you'll listen to this and go, "Oh God, that's obviously the singer from Seven Sisters." And the sound there is a little bit, but there are times when this goes completely a bit left field for me in terms of progginess. Now I'm not a prog fan at all, but I do like what he's done in here, and sort of bringing that Seven Sisters sound. Or I mean, here's the guitarist as well and the vocals, so you've got the guitar tone and the vocals brought into here, but then songs like A Seven-Sided Mirror just go off on a complete randomness of progginess, I guess. But it's good. I enjoy it nonetheless. I think it's not going to make me a prog fan by any means, but because I have so little of this type of music, and it's a very sort of 70s sound to it as well, I must say, because I have so very little, so few records with this sort of sound in my collection, it's one that I'll probably go back to without diving in any deeper. It was originally, I think, a 6-track LP, but the vinyl comes with 2 bonus tracks. One of them is actually a cover of Moonchild, originally by Rory Gallagher. Now, I don't know that song, but this cover version is brilliant. I absolutely love his version of it, and maybe if I knew the original song, maybe I wouldn't think so as much, but it's great. And then it's got a alternate version of Keep On Running, which was the single he originally put out last year before releasing the album. Ooh, what's this got inside it? It's got... I didn't actually look inside. It's got a small poster of the album art, and I believe it's got a lyric sheet as well. There we go. More album related art and the lyrics. But if you like a little bit of prog, or you like to try something a little different, or you're in fact a fan of Seven Sisters, why don't you give Phantom Spell a listen? It is available on Bandcamp. I actually bought this through Bandcamp, so I have the Bandcamp download, which I have done, and this has come with a label. It's on the Cruz del Sur label, but if you want to pause and grab that, you are welcome. I have not used the label download code. First come, first serve. Go and check them out. I think it's something a little bit different and a bit of a palate cleanser, certainly after listening to Hellripper and Black Royale. That's it. Short, to the point. 4 albums that I've picked up recently that I've been given a fair bit of spins to. Let me know, as usual, in the comments if you've heard of any of these albums. I know I've seen Night Demon and Hellripper shown quite a lot recently, so I think they're going to be fairly high in my album ranking of the year, that's for sure. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.